than it is with just the one family and the kids hounding you all the time and needing your constant attention. So that was really cool. Yeah, had a great time, man. No fires there, lame. No dogs there, a bit lame. But we got the caravan out, had fun. Kids all had a ball. You know, it was still nice and cool, not too cool, but cool at night, so it wasn't hot and stuff in the van, which was cool, man. Loved it. Won't be going back for a while. We'll be going somewhere I can have a fire and my dogs. But at least I know now. Just need one battery sorted in here, and I can go to like Cleveland or Croydon or whatever and run a generator for anything else that I need, and I'm all good and don't have to go to a caravan park. So that's cool. It was a successful mission as far as that's all concerned. I mentioned before that I got my second Pfizer shot this week, and I'm all good. I was a bit worried. Everyone says, oh, the second one's the one that gets you, you know, crook for 24 hours, 48 hours, like flu symptoms and all this sort of shit, aches and pains all over my body. And I got it on whatever Tuesday, and then come Wednesday I felt a little bit of a headache and a bit sore in my body, but I couldn't tell if that was just because I've been going pretty hard on the weights and stuff lately, or I couldn't tell if it was just from the gym and I was sore all over, or if it was like I was starting to come down with something, excuse my Aussie slang, something. So I popped 2 Panadols and that was it, gone, done, never had a problem again. So that was my second Pfizer shot experience. More good, haven't grown a third head. I don't think it's anything to do with the reason I'm crook at the moment, because my boy's crook, same sort of symptoms as me. He ain't had no bloody Pfizer, he won't be having it either. So that was cool, man. That's all done and dusted. I got my friggin' certificate sent through, and then yeah, I had to give it to work because they need a record of it now because the government wants to know all this sort of shit. Which gets me to my next point. I'll try not to spend too bloody long on it, but like, what's going on, man? How long are we going to run, like, put up with this shit here? Lockdowns all over the East Coast and Northern Territory again, like regularly, in New Zealand. Like, we're the only democratic country, us in New Zealand, that are still doing these lockdowns. Like, no one else is doing this shit anymore. The vaccines are out there, the health system's not overrun. We know the efficacy of the treatment now is pretty good. Like, there's things you can do to look after yourself, which I'll get to as well, that can minimize the effect of it on you anyway, by being healthy, not being obese. So go on a diet, do exercise, get better sleep, take your vitamins. It's not going to kill the average person. The more susceptible people in society, the elderly, we always got to look after them, but a lot of the other people can look after themselves and get themselves in better shape, man. And the government, and health agencies could be giving them some advice and on how to do that. Because they're quick to tell you everything else about it. Get your vaccine, do this, do that, and people act like the only way to look after yourself and to look after other people is to get the vaccine. Like, that's the only way to do it. Well, bullshit. That's a thing that we're going to do to look after ourselves, but it's not going to cure it. It's not going to get rid of it. You still get sick. You still get the symptoms. You can still transmit to other people. There's going to be variants, so it's not going to cover those, and you have to get boosters every 6 months or whatever the bloody hell it is. It's going to end up being like that. But you can look after yourself, man. You can, like I did, with the vaccine, I didn't even get the side effects from it, probably because I'm fit and healthy and not run down. You can go too far the other way. Some athletes have got hit quite hard because their bodies are broken down, but generally speaking, fit, healthy people are able to kick this thing pretty easily. So if you're not over 60, 70 years old, you don't have pre-existing conditions, comorbidities, you should be able to look after yourself a fair bit. And the government and health organisations, again, World Health Organization for one, should be telling people this. Here's a regime, like, here's the multivitamins you can be taking, eat healthy foods, go to sleep, look after your body. Here are the healthy weight ranges for your age and size and all that sort of, and gender and all that sort of shit. And it's just bullshit that they're not doing it. All it is you get the vaccination or you're a dog. Well, there's more to it than that. So I just think it's crazy. It's going to be mandatory from a lot of companies soon as well now, some of the big dogs. A specific company that operates in this town, who I won't name, directly apparently rolling out mandatory vaccinations for all their employees, which will then soon become all their contractors as well. Like, I'm already vaccinated, so whether I do or do not, hypothetically or allegedly work as a contractor for this company, doesn't matter. I've already got the shot, but still, people are going to have that choice taken away from them. Health workers are all going to be forced to do it. So it's just taken one more step away from our rights and being a democratic society and political system, and becoming more, do what you're fucking told. Dictatorship, communist China style, man, because I don't know, we're a far cry from that, but it's a slippery slope, you see, because before the pandemic, we all understood the concept. Most of us did. A lot of us did. I'll put it that way. There's definitely muppets out there who think otherwise. But most of us understood the concept that the government works for us. We give them our money, our tax money, to go into infrastructure and roads and education and all sorts of things that we deem to be important. We all chip in, and they are there to provide a better lifestyle for us and to help us with our health and safety and infrastructure and all those things I just mentioned. That's their job. They work for us, and then all of a sudden now they are in control of us. It's just switched like that, because it's for the good of the masses, for the safety of all of us. And that should be a short-term solution to get through what we've got through, which was this scary pandemic where everyone was going to friggin' die and end up in ICU. We're not there. That hasn't happened. We know a lot more about it. There's things we can do to keep ourselves healthy. As I just said, we can have more talk about that publicly and give us back our freedoms. You work for us. You work for us. You're in government. You work for us, the people. And this shit only happens in Australia. This draconian bullshit, backwards, over-the-top laws, because we let it. We let it. Other countries aren't going to allow their governments that sort of continuous power, and they're not going to put up with that shit. And we're putting up with it, and it's going to keep happening. There's no end in sight. They're not saying anything about when they're going to open up now. They mentioned it briefly once about there's a plan to get no more lockdowns at some point in time. We haven't seen that. All we've seen is more lockdowns, with longer extended periods of time. We're 18 months out now from the original lockdown session of 2020, and they're still doing it, man. They're still doing it for something that factually doesn't kill as much people, hasn't killed as many people as the flu. I understand that it has the potential to, but it hasn't. So it's not what you said it's going to be, and we want our lives back, man. Just bullshit. We just keep letting them do whatever they friggin' want. It's a slippery slope. You give the government and you give these people who love to control other people the opportunity to do just that and bully you, and it's a slippery slope where now companies are going to tell you that you can't, that if you want to work here you have to have the vaccination as well. Like, it's pretty bloody crazy, man. So we'll see where that all goes. Now, on another note, I want to talk about some of the big questions in life. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have a quick sip of my coffee, black coffee, Boss Coffee. Be nice if they were a sponsor, I tell you what. I could do with some cartons of free Boss Coffee from Suntory. Pure black coffee. Look at that. Pure black coffee. I'm showing it to the video, the camera there for people watching the YouTube. That is iced long black, brewed hot, chilled fast. I believe I've looked it up online because it's not on the back here. I believe there's 160 milligrams of caffeine in this bitch. No sugar, no milk, no nothing, just coffee, just black coffee. It's bloody awesome. It's really nice, smooth. If you want, be a pussy. Sorry, I didn't say that. If you want, you can put a little bit of milk on it at home on some ice if you're a pussy. Or you can just drink that black coffee. I'm only joking. I don't give a fuck if you have milk in your coffee or not. But yeah, beautiful. Love that. So, the big questions in life. Milk from a cow's udder. I love it. Drink it all the time. Big milk fan. Big milk guy. It's a little bit weird though, isn't it, when you stop and think about it and break it down? Like, Would you let a cow lick the inside of your mouth? Would you drink cow saliva? Would you let a cow pee on you? Would you drink its pee? Would you lick a cow? Would you put one of those big teats from its udder in your mouth? It's like, no, it's pretty gross, but then there's this big, soggy, hanging udder jiggling around full, like just bursting full with milk for someone else, for a calf, right? And we just go and squeeze it out. I'm just happy to drink that outside of that cow's bulging udder. And we drink the milk. So weird. It's weird when you think about it. And again, I'm not going to stop drinking milk. Love it. Awesome. All good. But it is a little weird, right? I don't know. I just can't understand how some things just get past us. I think they say we're the only mammal on Earth that drinks the milk of another animal. But then the counter to that is we are also the only mammal on Earth that has fucking iPhones and 4G or 5G. You don't have 5G in Headland, but so, you know, we're a little bit different. But that's weird. It's weird. Just think about it next time you're having a glass of milk. This, at some stage, was jiggling around inside the big fat udder of some hairy cow out in some field somewhere. And some dude hooked a machine up to it and just sucked all the milk juice out of it, and some poor calf guy, I don't know what the fuck they feed the calves that are hanging for that milk. And then we get it and bottle it up and homogenise and pasteurize it and friggin' go to town on it. Pretty weird. Change gears, when did 80% of the police force become just young nerds? I remember them being far more, maybe it was just because I was a kid, but I feel like they were far more intimidating and like manly when I was a kid. Especially when I was a teenager, like the cops came, we used to get the hell out of there. You know, I see them now doing traffic stops and around the place, and they just seem like a lot of them are just young nerds. I'm like, oh, gee, when did that happen? I've always kind of thought, not always, I didn't think about it when I was young, but a mate of mine's cop, and he told me he's an auto electrician and was in the military, and then went to the cadets as like a, I don't know, 28, 30-year-old man or something like that. And he was telling me that most of them there are just kids. They're like 22-year-old kids or you know, basically straight out of school or university, some of them, and into the cadets, and you know, within a few years they're there, walking around with a badge and a gun, telling men and women and adults and shit like what to do and what not to do, and having a position of authority over people. And that's just super weird to me. They don't have enough training or life experience. Like, surely you should have to be like my mate and be ex-military, or you ran a business, or you've got a trade behind you, you did something else for 10 years or so, 5 years, 10 years, you know, and then you come into the police force as an adult with life experience and some other skills behind you, and then you can actually, you know, have a better idea of what people should and shouldn't do in life, and maybe be a little bit more suited to the position. That's weird. They just seem like kids now, just bloody kids. That's weird. Here's one for you. If it's not on the gram, did it even really happen? You know? People tell you these stories or something cool that they saw, and they didn't put it on Instagram. Did it even really happen? Just saying, just throwing it out there. That's the world we live in these days. Another one for you. Why isn't heart disease a pandemic? Because heart disease in Australia alone, between January and May of this year, 5-month period, killed 5,432 Australians, right? So if you extrapolate that over a year-long period, you basically double it. We got over 10,000 deaths in a year from heart disease alone. And the main causes for heart disease: high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, smoking, diabetes and obesity. Things that can be controlled, a lot of them, by a bit of medication, some of that, but lifestyle choices, health, fitness. sleep, stress, shit like that. I understand that you don't catch it like COVID, right? Sneeze on someone, they catch it. But it's also something, so you can't, so, but it is something that we can't catch, but it's something that we can stop a lot of quite easily with education. Again, so they're telling you all this shit, you must get the vaccination, you must do this, you must do that, you can't go here, you can't go there. To give you no practical tools or information of how to look after yourself when it comes to COVID, and it just so happens that those same things they could teach you would also help people reduce their risk of getting heart disease, which is the #1 killer of people. I think it's, well, maybe not worldwide, because some places they've got other fucked up things going on, but definitely in Australia, America, a lot of countries in Europe, we can do a lot about that, and that's not a pandemic. No one gives a fuck. They just keep eating fucking McDonald's and drinking fucking Coca-Cola and doing other sorts and smoking cigarettes, which they'll sell to you and tax you on. So, answer me that one. Do you need to pick up dog poo on a beach? You know, dog shit on a beach. Do you need to pick that up, or do you just leave it? Like, especially up here in Headland, like if the poo is below the high tide mark, does it really even matter? You know, like, the tide's going to come in and wash that away pretty soon. There's seaweed and dead creatures and other things lying on a beach. Like, is that big a deal? Like, you know, if your dog shits on a pathway that other people are using, pick it up. Don't be a bloody troll. Don't be a cretin, pick it up. Have the bag on you. If you don't have the bag on you, I've been in that situation before. Sort something out. Get a stick or something, flick it off into the bushes. Like, be a good human. If your dog shits on someone's lawn, clean it up. Yeah? Be a good person. If your dog shits on the beach, does it fucking really matter? Does it really matter? I don't know, man. I mean, whatever happens, just shit happens. Shit happens. Can't shit just happen sometimes?